so let's get right into it. This one started with actually one of you guys. I posted on my Instagram stories a couple days ago a link that people could send me starters to work on. I'll leave the same link in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out and send me some ideas. But I posted on there and some people sent me some stuff. I heard through it and I found this starter there that this guy 2002 JVDW sent it to me. I'm gonna put his Instagram in the description as well, but this is the starter that he sent me. On the link again, it's in the description. I'm gonna leave it up for you guys there. So this is the starter idea that he sent to me. Funny enough, it actually sounds pretty different from the finished idea, but this is the first starter, the thing that jump started this sample here, and the beat as well. I'm going to be showing you guys the drums a little bit later. But what I did, we're on 105 BPM, the same BPM that he had his starter. I just had it pitched down 5. So I have this little part here, it's pitched down 5, and I just looped this one part, these 4 bars. It's just this part looping over and over and over again. Those 4 bars sound really cool, and the cool thing of having just them repeating over and over is because we just have this, we don't have any progression, we don't have any chord progression or anything. So I can build my own chord progression inside of this without having to mess up too much with it. I just cut out those 4 bars. So on top of this, I pulled up the bass. If you guys watch my videos, you know that I often find the chord progression for my samples using the bass. I had this bass pulled up. It's an Omnisphere preset, Omnisphere 3 preset, Moog modular warm swell, and you guys can hear it's a swelling bass. There's no attack and there's also no effects on this. So this is how the bass sounds. Using this swelling of the bass to create this, you know, ambience. And you can see on this preset, if you have the notes not connecting, then it swells, but if you have them connected, it doesn't swell. So sometimes I have it swelling, sometimes I don't. So like for this drop here, have the bass going straight down with no swelling. And also you can use those different movements to create some variations, some movement on your samples. So this is the new progression that we are working with, and on top of the bass I build the chords. So I'm using this plugin called Traction. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this plugin. Honestly, myself, I'm not very familiar with it. The people at Aeroform, which developed this plugin, they shot me a DM, they sent me the plugin to try it out. So I've been testing it out since last year, and I'm using it on a couple of my projects. I ended up using it here. If you are developing your own plugin and you want me to test it out, shoot me a DM. I love to test out new plugins. So this is the preset, the Desire Synth, and this is the chord progression built on top of the bass. And we have the same chord here. So we have a D minor, no 7s, no 9s, just straight up triad, D minor, and this thing here, which is a B flat major 7. We have these 3 notes, the D, the F, and the A. They're both part of the B flat major 7th, but also the D minor. So I'm using these 2 different chords, which are basically built using the same 3 notes. In this case of the D minor, I'm just duplicating the root note and bringing it down an octave. On the case of the B flat major 7th, I'm just bringing down the root note, the B flat, just 1 octave down. And then I have these 2 chords that are built basically with the same notes. And the only thing that is giving the difference in the chords on this vibe, you know, this progression, is the bass, who's moving the sample forward. And these chords with the starter, everything at once. now we have a very different vibe from his original idea. At this point, this is leaning more, at least in my eyes or ears, leaning more into like the Toliver, Travis, like kind of ambient, melodic, industrial, synth, spacey kind of vibe. There are a lot of adjectives there, and I built on top of that idea. So I pulled up this Juno 60. This is from the Rolling Clouds. I used this pad called PD Circadian, and I just brought the same MIDI. Same chords, same progression, just with a different, sound. So we have here again PD Circadian, and what I'm doing is bringing up the portamento, so I have it at 140. If I bring it up more, it takes too long to reach the chords, so I have it at 140, which is a very dramatic portamento, a very dramatic glide, but I feel like it still works in the context of the sample. And again, this pad and this gliding effect also helps build this Toliver Travis kind of sound that we're building here. To accompany this new chord progression, we also have a new bass. It's the same MIDI as the first bass. This time I have the Trillion, which is the same MIDI as the first one. We're just using Trillion this time. It's the SH101 squall bass. What I did here is grab that first note, I bounced it out to audio, and I did here on the clip envelope some transposition. So I brought it up an octave down, so I have this really dramatic like drop down on the downbeat here that accompanies this movement. We have the chords going up with the portamento, with that glide, and also the bass coming down. So they kind of, one is coming down, one is coming from the bottom, and they both like find each other in the middle. At least how I see it, this movement. Everything else is the same as the other one, pretty straightforward bass. There's not a lot of effects here. As you can see with the bass, there's no effects at all. The other bass, no effects at all. Here on the Juno, what we have is a Pro Q4 cutting out the lows very aggressively, and a Wolf compressor. Everything on this project, and not only this project, most of my projects, if it's not the bass, I'm cutting out the bass out. So with this pad, I have a Pro Q4 cutting out the lows very aggressively, and with everything else, with this starter, the only effects that we have is a Pro Q4 again cutting out the lows. So on everything that it is not the bass, I'm cutting out the lows. Same thing here with the fraction. We have an EQ8 cutting the lows, some glue compressor and Wolf compressor. No delays or reverbs or anything like that. So we talked about the two basses, the starter. I'm gonna leave the vocals to the end, which I think the vocals is what glues everything together, so I leave that to the end. And what I did here is I just balanced out these fraction keys to audio. I brought them up an octave here, and I'm using Pro Q4 to again cut out the lows and cut out some of the lower mids, and I'm using Shaper Box 3 to create this glitchy effects along with micro shifts. So we have the familiar sounds of those fraction keys, but with those, effects on top. After that, let's talk about the vocals. If you're watching this video and not subscribed, man, please click the like button below and the subscribe button to help support the channel. It's free, it takes only a second, and it helps me a lot here on YouTube. So if you like watching these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like below. Also leave a comment and follow me on Instagram. And now let's get back into the video. To me, this is what glues everything together, these two vocal tracks. I'm pretty sure I got them off of Splice. So we're just, looping the sample after I added all of this, and I just wanted to find something to add on top of it. And I found these two vocals that complement each other really well in a really cool way. So let's talk about them. So we have these first vocals here. And they repeat. So you guys can see we have two automations going on with it. We have a little altar boy who is being automated on and off with this 0.3 format. At this point in the sample, we automate that altar boy on. So we have this lower vocal, and at the same time, we're bringing the wet percentage of the echo up. And then we bring it down. So we're playing with the formant, how high or how low that vocal sound, as well as that echo. And that echo basically works as a delay throw. I could have that as a return track and just automate that with the return. I'm doing here with the dry wet. So we're playing with the space using the echo and also the formants of the voice. Adding automations like these, you definitely don't want to overdo it. I don't think I overdid it here. Adding automations like this can easily help bring some like life into your samples, make it sound more rhythmic or like interesting to hear. When you hear the sample in full, you don't hear those automations going on, but they make a hell of a difference in my opinion. Alongside this vocal, we also have this other one. To me, they complement each other really well. For this other one, there's almost no effects. It's just an EQ8, again, cutting out the lows and some of the highs. I'm doing the same cut here, the lows and the highs. Okay, my light, fuck it. The batteries on my lights, they ran out. I'm gonna just thug it out, bro. I'm not gonna stop this video. These two vocals, they talk to each other and they have this really cool relationship that, in my opinion, glues the whole thing together. So let's hear, just without this lead, we haven't talked about that yet, how it sounds with these two vocals. The sample itself doesn't have much rhythm, and it's these vocals who bring in that rhythm. And since we're talking about vocals on a sample, that's really important. We have to have space for the actual vocals for an artist to record on top of it. So we're bringing down those highs on these vocals. So let me disable these two EQs. Now the vocals, they take much more space on that higher frequency, which is mostly the artist vocals who are going to be living in. So you always want to bring them down. Maybe I could have even like cut more of those highs and bring those background vocals more to the background, but I think they work in the way that they are right here. So let's finish up this sample already so we can get into the drums. The last thing that I added is this lead. It's the same note, just an A jumping octaves up and down. This is also from Fraction. It's the Discover lead. This like choppy feeling to the lead also helped with that rhythm, you know, that was lacking a little. Again, I'm cutting out the lows on this, and I'm doing an automation here with the utility because this sound, if I keep pressing it, it just keeps that same sustain. I don't want that. I want it to hit and then slowly go down. So I'm using the utility to automate the gain down. So have that first hit and then it goes down into the background. So you forget about it, and then it hits again. And the same thing happens. So we're doing this with the utility, just automating the gain. You can do this on FL using Fruity Balance. I just have micro shift, doing some modulation, some like chorus effects, and also penman. So we have this lead going from one side to the other. And this is the entire sample. And if you want to have access to samples like the one you're hearing in this video, you need to check out my newest Memories bundle. Memories features 15 R&B compositions, and if you get the full bundle, not only you have access to all the stems for those 15 compositions, as well as 6 bonus samples, you also have access to a full R&B drum kit in the style of PNZ, Drake, Tory Lanez, and the newest Some Sexy Songs For You album. This drum kit follows the same principle as any other one of my products. You get a curated collection of the best best drum sounds for that specific style. I guarantee you're going to use every single one of these sounds. This is the end game for PNZ, Drake, R&B style. No fillers. So what are you waiting for? Click the first link in the description, that's outofideas.co, and check the Memories full bundle. And now let's get back into the video. Very spacey. The idea is to create something that is easy to drum and it's easy to record on top of. You want people to hear it and have ideas straight away. So let's get into the beat for this. When I was making the sample, and this is something that I do often, I pull up some either drum loop or percussion loop, something more rhythmic, just so I can hear it while I make the sample, so I can figure out if the direction that I'm going on is cool or not, if it will work well with some drums. And I found this little perc loop that started this whole beat idea. And it just repeats itself. So we have this perc loop going on basically throughout the whole beat. And for the drums, I tried to keep it very simple as well. I went for the more like industrial kind of sounds on this, like Travis kind of industrial sound. And for these types of sounds, this guy Playoffs, his drum kits are really good for this. So these are the drums that I use for this. If I remember, I'm gonna leave his Instagram in the description as well, so you guys can check it out. So this is the drum pattern that we have going on. I'm using drum rack on Ableton. I love drum rack, and I don't see people using it nearly enough. I think drum rack is actually better than FL's channel rack, but this is a conversation for another day. It just has one major issue that I believe is why people don't use it more often, but I might talk about it on a different video. But yeah, I love drum rack. I have a drum rack loaded up with some playoff sounds, and this is the drum loop that we came up with. Very simple. It definitely works better with the percussion loop. At the end of the day, when you're listening to these things out of context, sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense. But when I was coming up with this drum progression, I was listening to the perc. So like the little pockets that I could find to put some stuff and not make it very complicated. This is almost all of it is based on the percussion loop. So very, like distorted kind of industrial sounds. And the 808s, they're just following the root note of the sample. Really simple drums. Again, the idea is for this to be easy to rap on, easy to write to. So this is the drums that I came up with. For the structure, I wanted this beat to drop really quickly, so I played with the vocal. Since I made the sample, I had already all the stems pulled up. I played with the vocal, so we had this quick drop, and then I mute everything. Very simple structure, really simple beat, simple drums. Just using the perc loop is doing most of the heavy lifting here in the case of those drums. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Follow me on Instagram, join the Patreon or the YouTube members here, but probably the Patreon. This is where I'm going to be uploading, and I am uploading exclusive videos on Patreon. I'm uploading the packs that I sell on outofideas.co for free on Patreon for the premium subscribers. Join the Patreon if you want exclusive content. Follow me on Instagram, leave a like, subscribe to this video, leave a comment. If you have any questions, just comment down below and I'll be answering every single one of them. Send me starters with the link in the description. Thank you so much for the YouTube members and the Patrons for supporting this channel. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.